Kako. Today we'll be talking about math, or in Hawaiian we call pilihelu, which means numbers. Did you know numbers is the only universal language in the world? And not only in this world, but in outer worlds too. Numbers is the only way that people can communicate regardless of language barriers. Numbers will add up regardless of wherever you are on the earth. Numbers will speak truth. I just thought that was interesting. Anyway, back to the neighborhood game. Today I'd like to share with you two different number systems. Base 10, which is what we know in Montessori, and base 4, which is a Hawaiian number system. The Hawaiian number system actually uses both. It's a base 4 and a base 10. But let's start with the basics. Ready? Okay. In the Hawaiian number system, numbers are very simple. There's no fractions, there's no halves, there's no decimals. It's very concrete, very black and white. And so let's start with the number 1. And so the number 1 is one whole being. And that one whole being is our home, Earth. There's only one of it. And so we need to take care of it. That's the number 1. If we take that number, we have 2. And so 2 represents the 2 hemispheres. Kane, Kanaloa. Their native names. Northern hemisphere, southern hemisphere. So out of the 1, there's 2 parts. So we have 1, Honua, 2, Au, which is Kane and Kanaloa. After 2, we have Ekolu, 3. The 3 lines represents the 3 different parts that the sun travels upon. So you have the equator, which is in the middle, which divides it in half. And then you have thirds. The top is Kealapolohiwa Kane, also known as the Tropic of Cancer, which just happens yesterday, right? Means summer began. This number helps us to tell the time and season of the year. And then 6 months later, the sun will be here. Kealapolohiwa Kanaloa, or the Tropic of Capricorn, which will tell us winter will be starting. Yeah. So, one Honua, 2 hemispheres, Elua Au, 3 paths for the sun to travel. And so after 3, we have 4. And the 4 would represent summer, autumn, winter, spring. 1, 2, 3, 4. The 4 seasons also represents the 4 directions. North, south, west, east. Yeah. And so numbers also corresponds to different ideas and different beliefs. They carry those ideals behind those numbers too. Okay, one more time. Kalamai. Okay, 1 Honua, 2 Elua Au, Kane Kanaloa, northern hemisphere, southern hemisphere. The 3 paths of the sun, Tropic of Cancer, the equator, Tropic of Capricorn. The 4 directions, or the 4 seasons, summer, autumn, winter, fall. So out of 4, we have 5. And 5 is right here. This is called lima, yeah, in Hawaiian, which means hand, which in Montessori world is so important because this is the windows to the soul. The hand has 5 parts. Ekai, elua, ekolu, eha. Elima is the number for 5. Lima is the number for hand. Do you see the correlation in the vernacular? Yeah. Elima, ekahi, elua, ekolu, eha. Elima, lima. Or in some places they say lima beans, yeah? So this is a book about Hawaiian numbers. Hawaiian numbers is based on the number 4, but each level goes up by in increments of 10, as you see. 4, 40, 400, 4,000, 40,000, 400,000. And these were numbers based upon things that were in their environment. And these were numbers used to connect to those things. Yeah? There are many Hawaiian numbers. Eha, kanaha, eha haneli, eha kaukani, kanaha kaukani, eha haneli kaukani. 4, 40, 400, 4,000, 40,000, 400,000. Kauna, 4. Yeah, I'm showing you 5, but if you look in between my fingers, there's 4 spaces. Ekahi, elua, ekolu, eha. If you look in this hand, you will see 4 kalo plants. Ekahi, elua, ekolu, eha. So 4 was a number of division. It was a number of equality, because when you divide, as they did in the old days, they would divide in increments of 4. So I could put 4 tails of fish between my hand, or 4 stalks of kalo, and I give it to that person, and everyone would receive the same amount. That's why the number 4 is so important in this number system, because everything they did was to support the family and to make sure everybody had an even amount, which is the justice part of social justice of numbers and math, yeah? Ka'au, kanaha, 40. This was a number used when you were counting increments of fish, quantities of fish, yeah? So if you see in the picture, they have 40 fish. So the 40 fish would be ho'okahi ka'au, 1 group of 40. Yeah? As soon as you hit the second increment of 40, that will be elua ka'au, yeah, 80 fish. Ekolu ka'au, 120 fish. Eha ka'au, 160 fish. Right? So groups of 40. So this is a number used for the fishermen, along with the farmers too. Lo, hokai, eha haneli, yeah? And so this was used for cooperation. Yeah. And so they call this laulima, which means 400 hands, which was needed to do when there were large work projects to be done. And so as a community, they would come together and everybody would put in their 400 hands so the work would get done quicker. And then once the project is done, everybody benefits from that work. Yeah? Laulima, right? I said lima before. Laulima, 400 hands, community work. Yeah? Mano, 4,000. And so this is in reference to the different flowers that would grow in the forest, or the birds in the rainforest. Yeah, they were known as mano, 4,000. When you reach Kini, 40,000, this talks about all the different types of sea life that exists. And not only the sea life, but the life that exists on the land too. When you count all the life forces whether it's a bird or an insect or an animal or a fish, you reach kini, 40,000. Yeah. So they would say kini ke akua, right? The 40,000 life forces that exist in that one space. And then lehu was used for counting things that you couldn't really count, such as stars or grains of sand, or even large amounts of people were known as lehu lehu. Yeah. And so the increments of 4 has gone up by 10 on each level. Yeah. We started with 4, kauna, times 10, 40. Yeah. Times 10, 400, lau, that's the community. Times 10, 4,000, the birds and the flowers of the rainforest. Times 10, all the life forces that exist within the ocean and on that same land. Times 10 again, 400,000. So, this is a little bit different math, but coming from this place, how the ancient ones and how we still count today. Yeah. And so what is the value of learning a different number system? Well, you get to learn a different viewpoint, and you get to learn how other people view the world and counted things and what was valuable to them. And the more you gain that knowledge, the more you can pass on to your children, your students. Yeah. And the more math will become universal, as rather than just adding and subtracting. But if you can connect a story to it, or a value, or an ideal, then that lesson becomes that much greater and more important. Okay, see you in a couple weeks, we hope.